Tonight on News Prime, President Tinubu orders security agencies to curb Bauchi's security. And in business, petroleum sector investigation session paused amid record dispute. On the foreign scene, a former U.S. Secretary of State denies knowledge of extinct crime, urges probe. In sport, Nigeria Shooting Sport Federation launches first national event for veterans, wounded soldiers. Hello everyone and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to take immediate action to contain the escalating security situation in Bauchi State, following a high-level meeting with Governor Bala Mohammed at the State House, Abuja. Briefing journalists after the closed-door session, Governor Mohammed said the president responded very positively and had issued directives to security operatives to address the deteriorating crisis, particularly in Al-Kaleri local government area. The governor explained that he met with the president on behalf of the people and government of Bauchi State to present an update on the worsening security conditions in Al-Kaleri, where bandits are reported to have occupied ungoverned areas around the Dajim Dam axis. President Bola Tinubu has approved the immediate reconstruction of 3 major federal roads in Niger State. The projects include the Mokwa-Bida, Mokwa-Makera, and Bida-Lambata roads, covering a total of 306.5 kilometers. The road will be rebuilt using reinforced concrete pavement to ensure durability. The president also approved the extension of the Border-Borni Road to connect with the East-West Road in Rivers State. The project will be constructed as a dual carriageway with concrete pavement and solar power street lighting. Minister of Works David Umahi described the approval as strategic, saying they will boost connectivity, trade and economic development across the affected regions. The federal government has endorsed and pledged full support for the Nigerian Press Council's proposed national compendium documenting the economic and terrorism potential of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance at the presidential villa in Abuja during a courtesy visit by a delegation from the council led by its executive secretary and chief executive officer, Dr. Dili Ezuga. The vice president described President Bola Tinubu as a long-standing friend of the media and a firm believer in the independence of the press, stressing that the administration has for almost 3 years sustained an atmosphere conducive to journalists operating within intimidation. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris has reiterated the federal government's strong commitment to the establishment of state police. The minister made this known at a strategic meeting with the Center for Crisis Communication, led by its chairman, Major General Chris Olukolade, retired, at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. Sadia Yakubu has the more.
Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says decentralized policing has become imperative in addressing Nigerians' evolving security challenges. Idris further explained that strengthening the country's internal security structure must go hand in hand with strengthening national communication systems, particularly in an era where crises are shaped not only by events but also by the rapid spread of information. He added that digital innovation is therefore central to timely, accurate and coordinated communication, especially during moments of national importance.
In your attempt to spread information, you also have to know that the person consuming that information also has right over you. Therefore, responsible use of whatever tool you are using is core in ensuring that you have what is called effective communication.
Earlier in his speech, Major General Chris Olukolade, retired, expressed appreciation to the minister for his support and encouragement towards advancing crisis communication reforms in Nigeria. He appealed for the minister's endorsement of the proposed National Crisis Communication Hope and Performance Index framework, which he described as critical to real-time monitoring, to coordinated responses to misinformation, and to strengthen institutional accountability.
Continuous training for journalists, public relations officers, security spokespersons was strongly recommended during that conference, particularly in the digital tools, advanced fact-finding and fact-checking, and early detection through AI-generated misinformation tools. So strengthening media literacy was identified as essential to combating misinformation and safeguarding public trust.
With growing insecurity demands and rising complexity of threats, Nigerians' shift towards state policing may not longer be optional, but inevitable. From Abuja, Sadia Yakubu for Global Television News.
Fled at the Senate as lawmakers expressed outrage over the failure of the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission to honor repeated invitations from the National Assembly. This was during the Senate Committee on Finance 2026 Budget Defense Session, an interactive meeting on the economy. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick completes the report.
Senator Orji Uzor Kalu moved a motion calling for the immediate sack of the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussaini Magaji, over what he described as persistent disregard and disrespect for the Senate. The motion was seconded by Senator Adams Oshomole, who supported calls for decisive action. Senator Kalu urged that the matter be escalated to President Bola Tinubu, seeking the urgent termination of the CAC boss appointment. He also called for the issuance of a warrant to compel the Registrar General to appear before the committee.
I want you to summon a warrant to bring him here. I will report him to Mr. President to either remove him, replace him, or he start obeying the Senate. Move the motion, let me second. This man is not coming to the Senate. He's not above the law. This Minister of Finance and Minister of Budget.
In a separate motion, Senator Oshomole proposed that the CAC's budgetary allocation be withheld pending the Registrar General's appearance and clarification before the committee.
And given the fact that he has not accounted for revenue accrued to him and the expenditure he has secured, this Senate should decline to appropriate anything in 2026 budget until we are satisfied that he has properly accounted for previous money and spent, and the Senate is satisfied that he deserves to have any further appropriation.
The chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Musa, strongly criticized the Registrar General for repeatedly failing to honor invitations. He swiftly put it to a vote, but it failed to secure the required support of the committee.
He has constitutional rule, and this constitutional rule is that we are to oversight MDAs. Any MDA that we invite, almost every time, they will tell us they are in the villa. They are in the villa, taking excuses with the villa. And even Mr. President does not guarantee any head of MDA not responding to National Assembly.
The committee subsequently continued with its proceedings, leaving the issue unresolved and the fate of the CAC Registrar General uncertain. From the National Assembly, Aniete Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has approved and issued a revised timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general election following the enactment of the Electoral Act 2026. The Commission says the adjustment was necessary to align with the new statutory timeline introduced under the revised law. Under the new arrangement, the Presidential and National Assembly election would now hold on Saturday, 16th January 2027, while the governorship and State House of Assembly elections are scheduled for Saturday, 6th February 2027. The Commission further stated that party primaries, including the resolution of parties a dispute arising from them, will run from 23rd April to 30th May 2026. Campaigns for the Presidential and National Assembly election will commence on 19th August 2026, while campaigns for governorship and State House of Assembly elections will begin on 9th September 2026. Meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress, that is ADC, has rejected the updated 2026-27 electoral timetable released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, describing it as a public and political instrument designed to disadvantage opposition parties ahead of the 2027 general elections. In a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, the party said the timeline effectively creates barriers for opposition participation. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered that a former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, his wife, Asabe Bashir, and his son, Abdulaziz, should be remanded in prison custody pending the determination of their bail application. Justice Joyce Abdul Malik ordered their remand after the ex-AGF and his defendants were rearraigned on 16th count money laundering charge brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The court said Malami and Abdulaziz should be kept in Kuje prison in Abuja, while Asabe should be remanded in Suleja prison in Niger State, where there are facilities for female inmates. The Armed Forces of Nigeria has intensified national operations, recording major gains against terrorism, kidnapping, and oil theft in February 2026. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Michael Onoja, says troops arrested 85 suspects and rescued over 400 hostages in coordinated missions across theater of operation. Defense correspondent Kike Lomo Okere was there for Global TV.
In the northeast, joint offensive against Boko Haram and ISWAP led to the interception of vehicles loaded with terrorist logistics, including materials for improvised explosive device. The Director of Defense Media Operations reels out that under Operation Fasanyama, troops rescued 21 victims, arrested 36 suspects, and secured 251 hostages during clearance operations, while Operation Wild Stroke recorded 49 arrests and 32 rescues, alongside recovery of arms and ammunition to disrupt criminal networks.
Furthermore, on the 23rd of this month, troops intercepted a Toyota pickup laden with vehicle spares and fabrics destined for Boko Haram elements, alongside a truck carrying 460 bags of fertilizers in Badi local government area of Yobe State. What is the significance of fertilizers? Fertilizers, as you know, is one of the key components for making IED bombs. So it is important for us to have a control of fertilizers in the northeast so that they will not fall.
The director further explained that in the Niger Delta, Operation Delta Safe led to the seizure of illegal firearms and the recovery of over 144,000 liters of stolen crude oil and 31,601 liters of AGO. He says the operations are part of the sustained effort to restore security, protect economic assets, and stabilize affected communities.
The maritime and land components, as well as other security agencies, dismantled crude petroleum processing equipment, thus safeguarding our national assets.
The armed forces reaffirmed their commitment to maintaining pressure on criminal elements while urging citizens to support security agencies with timely and credible information. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Benue State government has launched a comprehensive peace and reconciliation strategic plan, calling on stakeholders to adopt community-driven initiatives to promote peace, social cohesion, and the security of lives and property. The unveiling took place at the Benue Peace Summit held at the Government House, Makurdi. Our correspondent Felicity Ndere reports.
Launch of the Benue Peace and Reconciliation Strategic Plan 2026 to 2030 brings together government officials, traditional leaders, security agencies, farmers, pastoralists, and international partners to build safer communities and boost livelihoods.
It will be locally informed peace building. It will no longer be we take from abroad and bring to the state.
Governor Hyacinth Alia, represented by his deputy Sam Ode, described the strategic plan as a product of wide consultations across critical sectors of society.
At the heart of this strategic plan is a bold, achievable vision. And the vision is a peaceful, secure, and stable Benue, where communities coexist in harmony, conflicts are resolved through dialogue and justice, and development can thrive for all.
Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Maiha, praised the initiative and assured federal government support, while a representative of the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Moses Gara, called for continued stakeholders' collaboration to tackle insecurity.
One important factor we need to understand in this country, and that has to be a central pillar of our national security agenda, is the issue of idle and disillusioned youth. And we have opportunities in the livestock sector today to absorb all this idle and disillusioned youth.
The change of narrative is at the base of what we want to achieve. To change the existing narrative that does not leave room for peace or negotiation.
Pledged traditional rulers' support for the peace process and urged for the safe return of displaced persons. While the team lead, Tetra Tech Spring Program, Dr. Okoha Okoiwo, highlighted the summit's role in strengthening inclusive peace building and coordinated responses.
To us, the parameter and the measure that we have peace has returned to Benue is when all these IDP camps are closed down. They are not part of Benue culture.
We are supporting a number of initiatives to ensure that farming systems improve, farming systems become climate smart, and that farmers and pastoralists work more collaboratively and in an integrated process.
With the unveiling of the strategic plan, stakeholders say the task now shifts from planning to implementation as Benue charts a new course towards lasting peace and stability. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere, reporting for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather broadcast plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello and welcome to the weather forecast. Dust-laden northeasterly winds continue to influence the atmospheric condition in the northern states. For Saturday, moderate dust haze with horizontal visibilities ranging between 2,000 to 5,000 meters is expected in parts of Katsina, Kano, Yobe, Jigawa, and parts of Kebbi states. And as always, residents sensitive to dust particles are advised to take necessary precaution. To other parts of the north and north central, conditions will be slightly dusty, while the inland cities will experience the hazy atmosphere with some few cloud cover. Later during the day, there are chances of thunderstorms along the coastal parts of Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, parts of Edo, Delta, and Cross River states. Stay with us for temperature forecast. I am Theodora Itum. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back. Now let's take you to the world of business. The joint investigative hearing of the Senate and House Committees on Petroleum Resources has been temporarily suspended following concern by the Minister of Petroleum Resources over insufficient documentation and late notification to the ministry. Lawmakers said the adjournment is necessary to ensure a comprehensive engagement with all relevant agencies when the session resumes. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Henneken Lukpobiri, informed the Joint Panel that his office received the invitation letter only a day earlier, making it difficult for the ministry and its agencies to assemble all the requested documents.
Well, because we got the letter yesterday evening, and I only got to see it only this morning. You know, we are not quite ready, you know, we are not quite ready with the documents that you have asked us, you know, to submit.
Following the minister's explanation, Senator Abdul Ningi, Bauchi Central, suggested that the hearing be adjourned to allow the ministry adequate time to furnish lawmakers with the necessary documents for a productive session.
So I would like to suggest to my colleagues that, subject to the leadership approval, of course, that it is better to adjourn this meeting.
Chairman of the Senate's Committee on Gas, Agum Jarigbe, who co-chaired the joint session, also noted the absence of the special advisor to the President on Energy, Olu Behinje, describing her presence as pivotal to the discussions.
The SA Energy to the President is not here too. She's very, very pivotal to the goings on here. And I will personally align with what you've asked for.
Similarly, Chairman of the Senate's Committee on Downstream Petroleum, Sumaila Kawo, commended the ministry for honoring the invitation despite the short notice, but supported calls for an adjournment.
Based on the practical situation and the importance of the question and the document we are asking, I am proposing to postpone this meeting to the next week, at least reschedule it to peeps of March.
The Joint Committee subsequently agreed to reschedule the investigative hearing to March 5th to enable the ministry and relevant agencies submit the required documentation and ensure a comprehensive engagement. From the National Assembly, Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
And on the foreign scene, a former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has told a congregational panel she had no idea about Jeffrey Epstein's crime, as she called for lawmakers to question President Donald Trump under oath about his past association with the late sex offender. The former First Lady and her husband Bill had resisted a subpoena from the panel, dismissing it as a politically motivated, before agreeing to testify as potential contempt of Congress proceeding loomed against them. Uyi Agbomofuegbe brings us more.
James Comer, a Republican who chairs the committee that will also grill former President Bill Clinton, said the purpose of the investigation is to obtain more information about Epstein. Clinton had earlier challenged the panel to question Trump about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files. While her deposition was behind closed doors, the former senator posted her opening statement on social media, with the transcript expected to be published upon approval by her lawyers.
I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking.
The Republican-led House Oversight Committee is probing those who were linked to Epstein, who died in a New York jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial. The Clintons had initially rejected subpoenas ordering them to testify in the panel's probe, but the Democratic power couple agreed to do so after House Republicans threatened to hold them in contempt of Congress. Uyi Agbomofwegbe reporting for Global TV News.
Now in sport, the Nigerian Shooting Sport Federation is set to launch its first national parachuting tournament dedicated to veterans and wounded soldiers. The chairmanship, aimed at honoring injured and retired military personnel, is seeking a strong backing from the Ministry of Defense. Aniete Patrick completes the story.
The president of the Nigerian Shooting Sports Federation, Mohammed Shetima, made the announcement during a courtesy visit to the Federal Ministry of Defense in Abuja. He told the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, that the maiden tournament will be known as the General C.G. Musa National Parachuting Trophy Championship. According to him, the initiative goes beyond competition. He describes the championship as a platform to celebrate the sacrifice of retired and wounded military personnel while promoting rehabilitation, unity, and grassroots development of the sport.
We want to create that opportunity where some of our veterans, especially those with the gunnery weapon training instructors, so they have a specialization that cannot be applied outside the military. And we'll draw these coaches from our pool of retired personnel.
The president says the federation also plans to harness the expertise of former servicemen and women as coaches and technical officials, creating a pathway for continued service beyond active duty. During the meeting, the National Shooting Sport Federation sought the ministry's intervention to unlock a $20,000 equipment grant currently delayed by administrative processes.
We also have interest in partnering with the ministry to renovate some of the shooting ranges in the country.
Where? Which location?
So there's one in Kaduna, the Sizim range, in Jaji.
That Sizim was just a waste.
Yes,
money
sir.
That was just wasted.
Yes, sir. And there's also one here in the National Stadium, MKO Stadium.
In his response, the defense minister commended the initiative, describing it as a fitting tribute to personnel injured in the line of duty. He reaffirmed the role of sports in rehabilitation and national unity, assuring the Federation of the ministry's full support to secure approvals and resources needed to successfully host the championship.
So I congratulate you and I assure you we will work and partner together with you in ensuring whatever things we can do to support you. We're very happy about it. And the opportunities that you are giving to also the veterans, those injured, is another way. You don't have to do too many physical things. The rifle can speak for itself.
For many wounded veterans, the tournament could offer more than medals. It may provide renewed purpose, recognition, and a powerful reminder that their service to the nation is not forgotten. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
And that's it on News Prime. But before we go, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for watching.